And he says Kelian's harder on himself than I would be.
Would you really do that to just a boy? A righteous being like you?
He asks Kelian, to what degree should righteousness dictate acts of good? Is righteousness the strongest element of good?
I often find that righteousness makes people behave stupid and dumb in the name of doing something good. Being good is not blindly doing something righteous that they think is good. Righteousness is conviction. It is neither good nor evil.
He asks if you would be so good as to share a personal experience that you've seen. A righteous act that you did not consider to be good.
He will tell the story of what's her butt saving Kelian just yesterday.
What is your max hit points at the moment? By the way,
63. About how this demon, knowing full well that the world would be a better place without him, still managed to come to my aid in exchange for knowing that she would be able to benefit herself. That is a very righteous thing, but that is also incredibly evil.
Is Kelian saying that helping Kelian is an evil act? Is that his argument for letting this man having the old man let him across his bridge?
No, he's saying that righteousness is independent of good and evil.
Okay.
That is a righteous act, and thus independent of being good or evil.
Mahogany. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Okay. 23. No, 24.
Then he turns back to Mahogany. And says, and you share your companion's outlook on righteousness.
Mahogany says, I had two companions once who were both very righteous, always doing what they could, what that they thought was right, and in order to help others with no thought to themselves. They're both dead now, and none of them are helping anyone.
He asks Mahogany what the most wicked acts he's ever committed is.
Mahogany says, through inattention and not caring about those among me as much as what I was focusing on myself, I killed a group of people who were above me.
And what's Mahogany's demeanor when he tells this story?
Mahogany is sorrowful, and it's the thing that he did has changed who he is.
The man looks at Mahogany for, again, almost a full minute. And he says, that he can see that this act has changed you. However, it has not changed you to be more good. Your actions... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, and Mahogany will say, if it's changed me enough to be more mindful, to not commit acts of evil rather than good, that's good enough for me.
He asks you if you think observing this plane, observing the denizens who live here, the nature of the place.
Mm-hmm.
He says that you would find great comfort in opening yourself to this place, letting it take a hold inside. And then he opens his arms and bids you come forward.
Mahogany stays where he is. And he says, if I open myself to the plane, and that led me to committing more good actions, that would only prove that the plane itself is good.
Kelian kind of nudges Mahogany a little bit to go forward into his arms.
Mahogany stays where he is.
Kelian, make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, it wasn't 18.
18.
Yeah, I'm surprised too.
He gives Mahogany the same deal that he gave Kelian. So the two of you should take some tools out and find a place not too near each other and work to dig a hole in the rock and the soil. Big enough for you to lay down in.
Mahogany says in response, no offense, but if that's your final decision, I trust the plane's judgment more than yours.
So what's the play here, Mahogany? What's next?
Mahogany thinks that listening to this guy's advice, like he truly believes that listening to this guy's advice and changing who he is in order to just do good actions would not in itself be a good act.
Okay.
And he also thinks that if he's meant to get to where Reese is, then he will, eventually.
He'll find another road.
Right. So Mahogany's plan is to head over with Kelian and to find something else that they can do good, rather than this guy.
What's Kelian's take on the situation at this point? Where does he think this is going?
He wants to kill the guy and convert this thing into a toll bridge. That's what he But he thinks better of it. He doesn't want to leave Mahogany defend. He doesn't want to leave Mahogany here by himself to defend himself from this guy.
Mm-hmm.
So, because he wants to just turn around and walk the other way, just away from this guy, because screw this guy and everything he stands for.
Right.
But he also doesn't want to leave Mahogany behind. So, for as long as Mahogany stays on the bridge, so will Kelian.
The man asks Kelian that if he has such contempt for the virtues that the old man stands for, why does he not walk away? Why doesn't he simply leave his companion? He says that he has no... in his mind, he explains that the two of you will either cross or not cross together. So he doesn't understand, if you are such a wicked and miserable person, why not just abandon your friend to his fate and go seek your fortune elsewhere? Again, you're under no obligation to tell the truth. You passed your wisdom save. You can lie through your teeth. But again, you get that sense that he'll know whether or not you do.
I mean, someone's got to look after him. And I think that's mostly the truth. He kind of feels bad about Mahogany's constantly changing nature, and he feels that he affected that.
He feels partially responsible.
Yeah.
But do you tell that to the old man out loud? Or
Yeah.
Okay. He says that you have a very twisted outlook on morality. He says that you've developed a kinship with your companions, and that you're struggling with it. That there haven't been people in the past that you've had connections like this with.
It's complicated.
And he says that all personal connections are. He asks you if you would allow him to help you.
Kelian turns his head and looks at the obsidian gravestones.
There's a lot of them.
And he looks back at the guy.
And he's sitting there with his burning white-hot eyes.
And Kelian looks at Mahogany and says, "You want to cross? Or do you have another idea?"
Mahogany says to Kelian, "Kelian, this is your decision."
I don't know. I've had more compelling reasons to change my nature before, and I don't think you're going to cut it, old man.
He says that he's not offering to change your nature.
And what are you offering?
He's offering to help you to come to terms with the kinship that you feel with these people. Why it confuses and confounds you. Why you feel partially responsible for them when you've never felt responsible for people in the past. He says, wouldn't it be a great relief to wrestle with these things no longer?
No, that's the easy way out. I don't need fixing.
And if he's gonna get fixed, then he'll fix himself.
Mahogany, make a... what do I want to call this? Make a charisma check.
Yeah,
Straight
no
charisma.
problem. Whoa! Nat 20!
Whoa.
The old man says... The old man says he wants you both to look around and see where you are.
Mahogany does so.
He reminds you that you stand in a gorge on the plain of Elysium and not on one of the peaks of Mount Celestia. He says that changing oneself is the nature of this plane. It's why it is here. To lead people to better themselves without the revelry of chaos or the rigidness of law. Those are the easy ways. He then asks Kelian what he considers to be a personal sacrifice. In his opinion, what's his idea of a personal sacrifice. And you can tell by the way he asks this question, he doesn't come across many members of the Fated.
To do something in the name of charity.
But an example. If I have 50 silver pieces and I put one of them into a collection box at the temple, have I sacrificed?
You have. You absolutely have. What do you expect to get back from that silver piece? Not a thing.
That's perfect.
Liberation looks a little bit grumpy.
The man reaches down into the depths of his robe, and he pulls out a large, colorful feather, plucked from a bird. He tells Mahogany to step forward.
Mahogany will step forward.
And he holds his arm out and hands him this feather.
Can I tell what kind of bird it's from?
Make either nature or religion. Intelligence,
Okay.
nature, or religion.
Well, I don't have either. So I'll pick nature, because
Okay.
I'm a druid.
What kind of druid are you? You're like...
Listen, I have wanted to change animal handling for nature for the last 30 sessions.
You are the Eric of druids.
5?
Something very, very large.
Yeah. A big boy,
Big boy.
but smaller than a rock.
Everything in the universe is smaller than a rock, yes.
Right, I'm saying that's what a 5
But
got
no,
me.
you don't recognize what kind of bird it
Yeah.
might be from. But he hands you this feather.
Yeah.
And when you take it, he speaks into your mind. And he tells you you wouldn't have made it across the gorge.
Okay.
He then turns and addresses Kelian. And he says that he has given the burden of responsibility of you being here to your companion. He says that everything that you do on this plane is a reflection of him. And that he will pay...
What else is new?
This is just... It's Wednesday, you know. And he says that he will pay the cost of anything that you damage.
Kelian, it's fine. We haven't broken anything yet.
All right.
And then the old man turns around, kind of stumbles back to the point where he was sitting when you came across him, hunches back down, and closes his eyes. And the final words he says is he bids the two of you to cross. Looking at your three companions who started crossing before you, you no longer see their eyes. In their heads, they're just burning orbs of white light where their eyes once were. The three of you, marked down somewhere on your character sheet, you have essentially a one-time cantrip. You can use it anytime you want. It does not require a roll, and what it allows you to do is see through one untruth to determine whether or not something that's said to you or done to you is a deception. It works once, and then the power is gone forever.
Okay.
Okay.
Mahogany, what do you do with the big feather?
Oh, he just puts in his pack.
Okay. Wait, in the pack or in the solution bag?
In the pack?
So we're not putting the big bird feather into the solution bag.
No, but he thinks it'll be really interesting to find out what happens when he wild shapes.
See, I was thinking there's a Mephit in the bag called Big Bird Feather, so...
I do not want to deal with Big Bird in this campaign.
Bum, bum.
It takes several minutes to cross the bridge spanning this gorge. This is a feat of engineering that you would not have thought possible. And as you reach the other side, the clouds start rolling back in above you. And it begins raining again. And on the other side of the bridge, after another 100 yards or so, you start seeing these obsidian stones once again for the next mile or so.
Man, screw that guy.
Is there another dude on the other side of the bridge?
Is there another what?
Another dude on the other side of the bridge?
No, there's not.
Okay.
Hey, Kelian, you want to make good on this feather? Let me tell you something like a personal truth. You are not a cipher. Before you start doing something, think hard. What would liberation do? Once we get off plane, you're good.
Liberation being the only one of you who's neutral good.
Liberation cocks his head a little bit. I miss my normal eyes.
You don't feel any different. You can't tell yourself that you have strange-looking eyes.
But I imagine that one of these people would have pointed it out to me.
Mahogany, you didn't mention it.
No.
Is Mahogany starting to feel self-conscious? Like, man, I want glowing eyes.
If Mahogany wants glowing eyes, he can make himself glowing eyes.
You use Ultra Self to give yourself glowing eyes so you can fit in?
Yeah, I'd give myself, what's a non-magical eye type that would glow? Like, celestial eyes?
Well, because then Kelian's eyes will glow and they don't.
That's true. I'd have to be a glowfish.
His are just silver.
What is Kelian's just general response to the plane of Elysium? Does he hate it here as much as he hates Mount Celestia?
No. He hates it. But on, like, the hateometer, it's like a 7, whereas Celestia is a 10.
Mount Celestia's real high up there.
Nobody is surprised that Kelian has a hateometer.
I'd imagine that the hateometer is pegged whenever he's on Celestia.
I think in Kelian's case, it's pronounced a hate-o-meter.
And eventually you guys get clear of the bad weather. And the gorge that you crossed disappears into the distance behind you. Are you guys breaking for a rest this evening, or are you going to march through the night?
Stop.
I could definitely use a rest because casting, what is it, the weather spell? I forgot the name.
Control weather.
Yeah, control weather. That gives a level of exhaustion.
Resting is fine. We'll be no use to anyone to help anyone if we're dead.
Okay.
I hope you mean that figuratively, Mahogany.
So you're setting up the mansion.
Yeah, whose turn is it tonight?
Nath said it was his.
Okay, well, I'll let him do it.
He told the old man it was his. That better not have been a lie.
Yeah, I'll let Nath do it then.
When you guys set up the mansion, do you bother keeping a watch, or do you just all sleep in the mansion?
Riot sleeps in the mansion.
Does everybody sleep in the mansion, or do you guys...
Kind of, how would one keep watch as to what's coming on? We would just
You have to stay out of the mansion.
Yeah,
You can go
stay outside the mansion.
in and out.
Well, you guys can still set up a sequence of watches to like watch
Yeah.
the door of the mansion.
It's fine. It's Mount Celestia. Or it's better than Mount Celestia.
It's Elysium.
It's Elysium. We don't need to keep a watch.
Like Mount
This
Celestia,
isn't. This, yeah.
it's a little
Yeah,
bit
maybe.
good. Elysium's like really good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sure.
If we,
Oh,
once we get off Elysium, ask us the question again. But here,
Okay, everybody go ahead and take the benefit of the long rests and make that wisdom saving throw, DC 10.
I did not roll a 1.
Oops, I failed.
Yep, pass. Yeah, alright.
How'd Nath do?
Nath passed.
Okay, so the next day, Nath, the compulsion you feel to remain on the plane, that sense of contentedness to stay on Elysium is gone, but now Riot has it. Riot suddenly loves this place.
I had a good experience yesterday with the old man.
He told you were right.
I almost love being called right.
Yeah, anybody who tells Riot that she's right is automatically good in her book.
So where was the door to the mansion placed last night?
I know Riot prefers to put it against a hill or something, but Nath has no such problems and would have just cast it hanging in space in the middle of a field.
I want you to know, Nath, that Mahogany thinks that's rad.
I mean, last session you tried to put it in the side of a hill, and then everybody's favorite crocodile man ended up inside the hill.
Yeah, that
Right.
was right.
That was a bad experience.
Yeah, that was a bad scene.
Coming out in the morning of the door hanging in space. Have you guys... I'm getting my two campaigns mixed up now. Have you guys fought any gargoyles in this campaign? Do you guys have familiarity with them?
I summoned a gargoyle
I
once.
think so.
Oh, yeah, he did do that, but we've never fought any.
Okay.
We talked to it, and I gave it a British accent, I think.
That's
That's
I think that's literally the only time in this entire campaign I've done a voice, is when we summoned the gargoyle.
like, I wish I could reach Nodal's mute button. And just... coming outside the door, you startle this stone creature that you recognize as a gargoyle. And it looks as though he's been keeping watch on the door, and as soon as it opens and you guys start spilling out, he takes to the sky and starts flying off. If you guys had been marching north, there's not really a north on Elysium, but if that's the direction you're marching, he flies off, or begins flying off to the west.
Mahogany yells out in Primordial, "Hey, buddy, anything we can help you with?"
And you get no response from this gargoyle as it flies off.
Not a good deed. Let's go.
He was keeping an eye on us at the very
That's
least.
weird. I wonder if he's... Do you think this is a plane thing, or I think this is a Reese thing?
Ah, it's fine.
That answers the question.
It might be it seems more like a plane thing to me, but whatever.
Huh, okay.
Well, maybe, I don't know. That might be a Reese thing, because it seems like nobody's really keeping an eye on us. Nobody would want to keep tabs on us while we're here.
Well, let's go see if we can catch up there today.
Yeah, I guess just head out in the direction that the gargoyle was flying. Seems as good in any direction as any.
So
Yeah,
follow.
or maybe tomorrow. There's no rush.
So you're going to go in the direction that you've been maintaining, or are you going to go after the gargoyle?
In Mahogany's mind, it doesn't matter. Because even if we go the opposite direction of the gargoyle, if we're meant to meet up with him, we will.
What do the rest of you who actually care think?
I think we should continue on.
Deliberation?
Probably set a watch tomorrow night, and if the gargoyle returns, we'll see what they want.
Yeah, sounds about right. That's fine. We'll keep going the way we've been going. That's fine.
Okay.
All right, then.
During today's travels, you find a tributary of the river Oceanus, and Mahogany begins leading you along its bank instead of wading or flying across it. And would Mahogany have any sense of how long this journey is supposed to take?
No, he doesn't. He's
Okay.
like a certain amount of good deeds. That's how Mahogany thinks of how long this journey's going to take.
I'll allow everybody else to make a wisdom check. If you have a planner knowledge proficiency, you can add that in.
I have proficiency in everything.
18?
19.
Half proficiency in everything, I guess.
You have a plain knowledge check.
Right. I think that works out to like a 17.
Okay. So Riot, Nath, and Kelian, your first few days traveling across, especially the first layer of Elysium, and your first day on the second layer, they could get... I mean, they were never perilous, but you were covering a lot of harsh terrain, but you always felt like you had a sense that you are making progress. Over the course of this day, though, you get no such sense. Riot, you feel especially antsy about it, considering that you failed your previous Elysium save. Something about your march today, it feels like you're going in circles.
But that's all right with Riot. I mean, like, making progress is sort of almost what she doesn't want now.
How does Kelian and Nath feel about that?
Uneasy. Maybe we should have done something with that gargoyle. I don't know.
Do you want to go looking for that gargoyle then?
Well, would be long gone at this point, especially the way movement works here.
Well,
I think the way movement works here, we can get to it anytime we want.
Or anytime the plane wants.
Well, that's true.
what he said.
Our intentions matter, though, so if you want to start looking for the gargoyle, we can do that.
Yeah, when Nath wanted to find some traders, we found some traders eventually. If we want to find that gargoyle, we can.
But does that gargoyle want to be found?
We can determine that once we get there. We can't help anyone if we don't know what's going on.
Okay. Are you guys breaking this next night, or are you going to march through the night?
Might as well break
It's on
again.
Riotous for Mansion.
Yeah.
Yeah, Riot is going to cast the Mansion spell,
Mm-hmm.
and then also cast Permanent Image. And the Mansion spell is going to allow the gargoyle to come in. And the Permanent Image is going to put up a signpost that says, "Gargoyles welcome."
There was talk of actually setting a watch tonight. Is that happening?
Nath was going to offer to do first watch, yeah.
Yeah, I'll stand a watch too. Shoving the maid outfit dressed Factal Hashkar out of the way.
I forgot about that. So Nath is taking the first watch outside as the sky darkens, sitting next to a sign that reads, "Gargoyles welcome."
I want to mention it's neons.
What it actually says is "Party inside, gargoyles welcome."
Don't lie, Riot.
Oh, that's not a lie. It's always a party inside Riot's man.
I have this image now of Riot poking her head out every 10 minutes and changing what the sign says. Making it more enticing to gargoyles.
Rocked inside, gargoyles welcome.
Nath, make a wisdom perception check.
15?
15. Off in the distance, you do see two figures approaching in the air. And they approach to a point where you can tell that they can tell that there's somebody outside the door tonight. And it seems like they're
retreat
content.
after that?
No, they don't retreat. They stay at that distance, though. They don't come any closer. Whereas last night, he was right in front of the door. Tonight, there's two of them, and they're staying at a very considerable distance.
And how early is that? Or late?
An hour or two after you've been sitting here.
Okay. I'll go into the mansion if anyone's asleep. Is anyone asleep yet?
I'm assuming the party's still going at this point.
Yeah. There are a couple of watchers just outside of... They're close enough that they could see that I was outside the mansion.
Oh, we'll let him come in. More the merrier.
Do you want me to go talk to them with you?
Sure.
Do you speak gargoyle? I don't know, is that a wizard thing?
What do gargoyles speak?
Terran?
Doesn't matter. I have a way of understanding what people have to say.
So are the three of you going to...
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So three of you exit the mansion and start moving in the direction of the gargoyles. Very quickly, they do start taking flight away from them. The question then is, are you going to try to intercept them? And if you are, how are you doing that?
I mean, I could easily put fly on all three of us.
And try to overtake them?
Probably don't even need to hit Mahogany with it. Honestly, probably.
Probably don't need to hit Liberation with it either. He's a monk.
Well, I mean, I could put it on Liberation and they can fly after he's run 20 feet ahead of them, which will take about 2 rounds.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll tag myself in Liberation with a fly.
And I'll tag everyone with Longstrider.
Kelian's sleeping.
Riot's partying.
You're not invited.
So everybody's gonna get the
Kelian
long
was
rest
explicit-
except Riot. Or does
Kelian was explicitly told not to get in trouble, so
you can get in trouble inside the hut? I mean, it's a trouble hut.
Being in the hut is technically not on the plane of Elysium.
So as you guys fly after the gargoyles, and very, very quickly, far more quickly than they're probably expecting, because Longstrider is ridiculous. This Longstrider, it has an effect on fly speed. It doesn't say it doesn't.
It has an effect on any speed.
Any speed. Has anybody in the history of D&D think cast Longstrider on like a burrowing monster? That would be terrifying.
That would
That'd be really fucked up.
horrifying.
There's some weird edge cases in D&D. But one of them came up in my group yesterday.
Yeah.
We were in a place where nobody spoke. It was all sign language. And one of the party wanted to cast comprehend languages, and it was like, this works on all spoken and all written languages. And we're like, oh, this is
Yeah.
Nice.
I would have to allow that, I think.
Yeah, I did allow it.
It's within the spirit of things, I think. So, I'm going to describe to you what these gargoyles do and let you guys determine how you want to handle things. What looks like is about happening is that one of them is going to continue flying off. The other one's going to turn and face you, and you see that it's holding a spear. And it's going to try to block your passage. In no way is this gargoyle actually capable of blocking your passage. You are too fast for it, and you outnumber him. So here's the question. Are you going to allow the one to get away? Or are you going to try to stop both of them? Or are you going to come up with some weird third edge case that I haven't thought of yet?
Mahogany's planning on letting the one dude get away and just talking to the other one. But he can't talk to anyone at the moment, so Liberation's going to have to do it.
Wait, what did Mahogany wild shape into?
I'm a giant eagle.
Okay.
They're very fast.
I mean, you can make screeching noises.
And if I was an air elemental, I think that would be, like, a racial thing.
Like, the air elementals have beef with the gargoyles? What?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
So what about the rest of
Like,
it?
Basically following Liberation's lead since he's the one who can talk to them.
Okay, Liberation
Take
looks
it
like
away.
it's your call.
Take out a white handkerchief and wave it as we're approaching and shouting, "We only want to talk. We're not trying to mix things up."
I have a question. Why does Liberation carry a white handkerchief with him?
Because it's a little thing called class.
All right, no further questions.
What color handkerchief does Mahogany carry?
Mahogany wipes his nose on his sleeve. He's a druid.
See, no class at all.
No, my class is druid.
Probably wears a trucker hat and just has a big belt buckle that says Mahogany on it.
You know that Mahogany literally is himself a big belt buckle that says Mahogany on it. He is himself Mahogany.
All right, roll initiative.
Where's my R button? Come on. There we go.
Wait, where's your what?
Where's my R button?
Oh, you know what? I don't need the monster manual. I have stat blocks in my cheat sheet this week. I
Hooray!
know, right?
I'm a little sad the Gargoyles didn't come in because of one of my main goals in drawing up that floor plan was the hope that someday we'll have a fight in there.
Oh, mine too.
Well, good. Now that I know that,
We'll just have to we'll have to pull it up on the tablet, blow it up, and then shrink our tiles to match.
Man, it's really weird, Riot, how this one time you summoned a magic mansion that's in a giant circle.
all right. What's Nath's initiative?
Nath X is 7.
At 7. And Liberation.
9.
And the other guy.
16.
Gargoyle number 1 is the one that's flying away from you. And it's doing so very, very swiftly. So 120 feet around. And it's continuing to do that. And Mahogany, you're next. The second gargoyle is flying towards your position with enough speed that it will be able to attack you this turn, and it looks like that's exactly what he intends to do.
Okay, Mahogany's going to... Liberation hasn't gotten the chance to say anything yet, so Mahogany's gonna... He can take a hit.
Liberation can say something as a quick free action if he wants.
Again, I'll say we're not trying
So
to
what exactly do we know about gargoyles?
What did Liberation say?
We're not trying to bring violence.
Well, he's going to bring some violence to you, whether you like it or not. I mean, what you know about gargoyles, that's up to you.
Well, my question is, because do we know what alignment gargoyles are? Because I'm banking on neutral, but if it turns out gargoyles are evil, then I just have the wrong D&D knowledge.
What does Mahogany think?
Mahogany doesn't... Unless I specifically know, Mahogany thinks neutral? They're rocks?
They're flying rocks?
Yeah.
But Mahogany has the initiative, and the information you have to go on is that Liberation calls out, we're not here to bring any violence, and this gargoyle is swooping towards you, holding a spear.
Alright, fuck it. Let's make a judgment call. I'm gonna fucking attack this gargoyle.
Alright. And probably kill it in the first turn.
Hey, I mean, for once I'm attacking with melee, so I can do a non-lethal attack.
Destil, do you have any idea how much I agonized over the decision about bringing back, like, flight maneuverability classes for this kind of combat in 5e? Like, to this day, I'm still thinking, is that something I should sit down and do?
Here, I'll make you feel better. I swoop on him.
Yeah.
That's how an eagle attacks. Alright, yeah, let's go for it.
I think you would, if you care, need to sit down and work up a completely independent system. The 2E, 3E ones were both way too complicated.
Oh, yeah, no
Yes.
doubt.
Yes. 3 was very complicated.
A crit.
2E was worse.
After the session tonight, if I have some spare time, I'll walk you guys through how the system worked in 2E, and you'll think that I'm lying.
Oh no, I'll totally believe you, because you're going to say the most ridiculous and absurd thing.
I mean,
it's
I
going
would
to be true.
How did this happen?
I don't know.
Why?
And frankly, I call happy horse shit on the 2. But I'm willing to accept the judgment of the dice.
So how much damage on the swoop?
That's 14.
This die is magic.
And I'm assuming you don't have an adamantine beak.
Well, no, I am myself magical.
Right, but your beak is not made of adamantine. You're not.
No.
You're not the Wolverine eagle.
Sure, but I just want to make clear in case you're going to wreck my beak. I did attack him with my talons, because I missed with my beak.
Okay, so you're talking. We don't have adamantine talons either.
No.
No, your talons aren't getting wrecked. Don't worry.
Yeah.
It's just I think this might be the only monster in the book that specifies that it's resistant to damage from non-adamantine weapons. Because there's a lot of them that say that they're resistant to non-silvered, but gargoyles are non-adamantine. Okay.
No, I'm not myself adamantine.
No, you
That
do.
sounds like a monk thing.
No, you're doing full damage to it because you have a magic weapon. It's just a weird thing in the book. Okay. Where do you want to end the turn? Because if you're going to swoop in, and unless you have a flyby, if you swoop in and fly past him, he gets to try to stab you.
My plan is to swoop in and kind of hit him and grab him. Because I don't want to kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And so my plan is to get him down to the ground and figure out what the fuck is going on.
Okay. What I'll do then, because you hit with your talent, if you want to forego the damage, I'll say that you can make a grapple check instead. Using that 20. Okay.
Yeah.
And I mean, that it was a 20, so yeah, you've got him.
Yeah.
You're going to grab him out of the air. So you've got him grappled. He doesn't have any speed. What that means is if you let go of him, he drops.
Yeah, I'm going to bring him down to the ground.
Is that where you want to end your turn?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're going to swoop at him, grab him with the talons, fly down to the ground. He is going to attempt to break your grapple. Go ahead and make a strength athletics check.
Hey, I'm good at that because I'm an eagle.
Don't have to roll particularly high. He got a 2.
I can't roll less than that.
I mean, you just literally rolled less than that.
Yeah, but I get a +3.
I mean, it's fine, but you said I can't roll less than that, and you rolled the only number that is less than that.
Yeah, I meant with the +3.
I mean, I thought 2 was the lowest number.
No, yeah, I can buy that. Like, 2's very low, and it doesn't have a lot of shape to it.
And the thing is, make a... What's your passive... You know what, since you mentioned it earlier and it's relevant, go ahead and... What's your passive animal handling? Intelligence animal handling.
Holy shit. Intelligence animal... Come on, Brick Road!
Don't,
You shitting me?
Don't roll it. What's the passive score?
My passive intelligence animal handling would be... Give me 1 second to figure this out. What's my proficiency? 15.
15? Okay. I get shit for never bringing it up, and then I get shit for bringing it up.
You made an intelligence!
Things that have never been in.
The thing is
15.
struggling to get out of your grapple, and he's doing it. He's not stronger than you are in this form. He is not able to break the grapple, but the way he's doing it, it feels like he has knowledge of how to do it. He knows, like how to break the grip on great birds, as if it has experience doing it.
Okay, yeah, okay. It's fought some big birds before.
Animal handling, right?
Yeah.
But it does not break the grip. Liberation.
I can't believe you're calling this intelligent creature an animal. That's really fucked up.
No, I'm calling you an animal. You're a giant eagle.
Oh, right, and I'm handling him.
Exactly.
Yeah.